And welcome everybody to this Tuesday edition of
You're
Fat
just
Guys on
confusing
Little
people.
Podcast.
It's all my fault.
Because someone has to have a job with a lot of hours. What the hell is that? We're too old for that shit.
I'm telling you, I'm a mess at work. Work's a mess.
As always, this is Steve and
Charles.
And live via satellite is it via or via? I don't always know. Anyway, live from satellite. From a satellite. BV, how you doing, Bill?
All right, how are you?
He is all right. He's good to go. He's fresh from work. He's been working at home all day.
He looks like well rested.
He looks like he wants to put his fist through his fucking computer right now. It's a technical difficulties for BV's computer. He's not happy about it. So speaking of difficulties, Charles, you know who's having difficulties? The Power 5 college
Dude, they
football
really
teams.
are.
They don't know if they are, they aren't. They're worse than a teenage girl not figuring out whether she wants to stay home or go out and goof off. I'm in the house. I'm out of the house. I'm in the house. Well, that's what my daughter does all the time.
So
the
where's
Big
Steve's
Ten-
going with this rant, BB? Strap in. Steve's taking us on a ride tonight.
Well, no. I mean, there's early reports
Dude, I don't know.
that the Big Ten and the 12 out of the 14 ADs voted yes to cancel the football season, and guess the two that didn't. You know? Did you hear that one?
I'm going to guess Michigan, Ohio State.
No, actually, it was Nebraska and Iowa presidents.
Do they not have the infection rate that all the other states do?
They just want the money from football.
They're just like, we're not even going to give a reason.
I say that because Scott Frost came out later about all the money that the University of Nebraska going to lose, and he kind of broke it down and stuff. And Harbaugh sent a letter to the University of Michigan about how he wants to play and how they're following such good guidelines, and no one's getting the cases in Michigan.
Let me derail you for a second. Is Gretchen opening the gyms again? Is that happening?
I've not heard.
Oh, okay.
But there was a press conference today, but I did not listen to it because I'm getting tired of those fucking press conferences.
Yeah, a little much, man.
Maybe her press conference was, I didn't get picked as vice president.
Yeah.
Someone else picked. Camilla Harris got it.
Yeah, dude.
Even though she flew out there to Delaware to take a personal interview with Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Still didn't work. But anyway,
That's neither here nor there.
So the Big Ten, it's still up in the air right now. So the early reports on Sunday was the Big Ten's closing it down. Everyone's closing it down.
It leaked oddly to the press.
Yeah.
And that's why I put it initially as reported. Because
And then Herb Street and ESPN came out yesterday or today and said, no, pump your brakes. That's not a thing. So they're still working out. But by the end of the week, we're supposed to know if the Big Ten and the Power 5 conferences are going to cancel.
So they've added the Pac-12 just before we came on air today. The Pac-12 has been reported now to also do it. So I don't know. It's like a constant changing thing.
Yeah,
so
no official word.
What is your opinion on it?
I think they're going to cancel. I would like to see.
Do you think they should cancel? What is Steve's complete opinion on all this?
I don't know about college, but if they cancel, then they definitely need to cancel the high school sports. And my daughter went to practice today for volleyball.
Oh, yeah?
It was all outside. I don't know.
But couldn't you make the argument that there are less people at a high school sporting event like that?
Yeah, I guess.
I'm not trying to justify it, but I'm saying to your point, but then again, whatever. We're gonna get into school closures and stuff because people in my household got some word here recently too. So
and ours, I think Holly can still go in person in District 7.
As of right now.
We'll see if that changes in 5 minutes.
Everything's subject to
So
change.
now, would be interesting to see. Now, Big Ten and Pac-12 should work something out because they were talking about doing it in the spring. Have them play their conference games in the spring, and then have the winner of each go play in the Rose Bowl in the spring. That'd be kind of cool. And Rose Bowl's just sitting there.
I guess logistically, how do you play in some of the Big Ten areas in the early spring? I'm just saying, it's still kind of winter everywhere. What does that timeline look like?
February through what? May, I guess?
February.
Well, it's only what? How many games is it? 9? So it's 2 months? A little over 2 months? I don't know. They're going to figure it out.
There's enough money on the line that they're going to figure it out. What is the BV take on this situation?
Well, first, from what I read earlier on, shortly before we went on air, is that Big Ten had officially canceled football for the fall, but they're still hoping to play in the spring. And the Pac-10's canceled all fall sports.
Yeah.
But I think ultimately college sports need to step back. As much as I'd like to see a college football season, they need to step back, think of the better, think of the good of the entire student body of their universities and just cancel the sports. You can hold out until spring. You're not going to put in a full season if you get it in the spring. This is just a desperate attempt to try to grab some additional revenue, particularly for the larger schools that frankly don't really need it. I think hopefully when it's all said and done, they'll use some common sense and they'll cancel the sports for the whole season.
I don't know. To me, it's really weird because you can't push learning online and tell everyone like we're good to ball. I don't understand how that works. Some
of the excuses they've made is some of these athletes, they live in inner cities and they'll probably get COVID being there.
Oh, so they're a shelter.
Yeah, they're a way to get away from the COVID. Side note, Bill, are you hearing any wind as we talk?
No, why?
Okay, good. So I'm just checking to make sure the fan wasn't, because I want to leave it on. But Steve wants.
Yeah, I had a small fan on here that I turned off because I figured it was close to the microphone.
Yeah, so Steve wants to keep the fan on in the
I vote
studio.
to keep the fan on and close the Big Ten down.
I'm not sitting in the
If there's
sauna
any
like
whistling noise in the audio, Heather will come and poke her head in.
All right,
it sounds like crap.
All right. So the Power Five now also UConn has already canceled their football season, but they were going to.
That's a shame. It's a perennial powerhouse.
Yeah, I guess they were independent this year anyway.
Were
they were having trouble putting
because it was like an old Big East team anyway.
And then the MAC has canceled their already. That's Bowling Green, Eastern Michigan,
those BB got turned all your season tickets in.
Yeah, the home of Ben Roethlisberger has they have canceled their season as well. So. That's a look at the college. Doesn't look like we're going to get some. So everyone this fall, find some hobbies because also coming up now is the NFL season. Now, last week there was a deadline for players to opt out. I don't know how they can give a deadline. They should be able to opt out whatever the hell they want. But okay.
I think that they have to make like provisions to say like what the roster spots are and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of like reporting type issues with a lot of that.
So
stuff.
66 opt outs in the NFL of people not playing. No big name quarterbacks.
I was going to say any notables at all.
Mostly the high end
and the
Patriots and the Patriots.
Yeah, exactly.
A couple linemen here and there. Bill, do you remember any big names? There were a couple, but mostly defensive players, I think.
Yeah, not really massive names. People like Dante Hightower.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, I don't think they're making the year anyway. So Stephen A. Smith went on without the bubble. I don't see how it's gonna work. We've talked about it at this point 3-4 weeks in a row now. It's impossible. I don't see it's gonna make it. I just don't buy it. It would be my 2 cents.
Yeah, I think they're going to try it, and let's see how far.
They're going to try, and I'll give them a month, and then like, this is a dumpster fire.
The good gambling will be in Vegas when you get the gamble and when the NFL's going to shut down. I had November. Who had October?
Dude, I'm telling you. I don't know. I don't buy it.
I mean, I guess you could say they're all grown men, and they want to do it, they can do it, and whatever.
But it's the optics of it.
Yeah.
It's now we're not worried about people's health, which is already a sport with the CTE issues and all.
Well, they already weren't
stuff.
worried about a dude blasting this woman in the face.
So, I mean, I'm just saying, like, I don't know, man.
So that's the NFL. Of course, baseball's still going. I haven't heard any major outbreaks lately on baseball, but they did issue a lot of strict rules after the last break. They're almost like in a high school right now. Like in the cafeteria, they got to have separate tables. They have to they can't scream or talk while they eat. It's
scream or talk. You've been awfully chatty.
They went over a whole list of stuff. I was like, there's no way these guys are complying to all this stuff. And then you see a baseball brawl breaks out with Oakland, and how many? What is the over under on how many brawls Houston Astros are going to be in?
You shady bastards!
Yeah, they're like, God damn it, the COVID didn't take the sting off of cheating. So Charles, you being a household with teachers, what are they doing in Dearborn?
So my daughter's school district reached out yesterday, as well as my wife's, where she teaches at.
Crestwood symbol. That's impressive.
Oh, BV's got a Crestwood symbol right there. Yeah, so my daughter's school is going, at least for the first month, is going to go strictly online, but they're going to do this thing where they're going to reevaluate every month. So it's going to be, they're going to give the students the option to go, either you can go 100% online from the beginning of the year, or you're going to go into this weird hybrid thing where we're going to let you know month over month what we're going to do. Mm-hmm. So that's where my daughter's school district, now my wife's school district, which is Crestwood and Dearborn Heights, they're at least for the first trimester, they're a trimester high school. They're completely online. There's no, analyzing this, that, and the other for every semester. They've already given word down that they're going to be completely online for that first trimester. So it's crazy to see these school districts are getting out. I find kind of early. It's kind of crazy. But I just, and me and you have talked, as well as BV, what do the parents do? Like, what do you, if you got to get people back to work, like, what are you going to do? Like, I don't know. It's going to be a very tough fall. What's that?
Brought Joey to work with me. He'll just do his online work.
Dude, he's just over here on a laptop or an iPad.
Yeah.
Ignore him.
Yeah, he'll be fine. We just got to give him a juice box. He'll be all right.
It's going to be a tough fall for a lot of parents, man.
So we're in District 7, and that's Dearborn. That's another part of Dearborn Heights / Taylor /
one of the 3 school districts in Dearborn Heights.
So District 7, they are giving the option to either go in person with a limited amount of students or do online. And it seems they gave us a survey. Holly, my daughter, wanted to go in person because my daughter's a social bug. She wants to go do that stuff. So I said, all right, you want to do it? Go do it. And but half the school took the online option. So
I got to tell you, I think, in my opinion, I'm not coming to it from a Republican or a Democrat or, I've been working this whole time. That's why we're recording on a Tuesday. But I think it's a great time. If you can be safe and go into school, it's a great time to go in-person learning because the school...
You'll get more one-on-one time.
Yeah, the class sizes are going to be astronomically smaller than they've ever been. But then again, you would make the argument that, is it worth that risk and all that kind of stuff? Someone like Holly and all that stuff says it is. So I think that my daughter, if given the option, is going to go in person too. Maybe that's the only kid syndrome too. I don't know, but...
Yeah. So let's look at some of the local schools. Anyone out there, different school districts doing different things, let us know. So, Bill, you're a big WWE guy from the 80s.
Tell us what this passing means to you.
Tell us what a eulogy of Kamala the Uganda Giant would sound like.
Eulogize Kamala on the show.
I really don't know that much about Kamala. Honestly.
The only picture you can find is cutting his head off.
Well, it wasn't. The head wasn't cut off when I looked at the picture.
We need to have time to orient the picture properly.
Yeah, I just, maybe I just wanted to look at the wonderful stars on his chest.
Is that a star?
I think it's supposed to be. Yeah. I don't know, or I don't know, some kind of a ghost or something.
First of all, this is a huge part of my childhood just gone. I don't know if you guys can say.
I mean, he really was always kind of a fringe wrestler in the 80s.
Let's be honest. Let's not
he was a mid-card guy.
He was a shitty wrestler.
He's just a big dude.
He had I recall him having like one program with Hogan where they made him unstoppable for about a month, and then of course he's sacrificial lamb to Hogan at some big event, and that was it. Other than that, he was just kind of like an early to mid-card guy that used to, one of the big guys that did, crazy, that did a lot of squash matches with scrubs. Basically, and
that's he about 6'6"? He was tall. He was pretty.
He's a big boy physically.
Probably like 400, 6'6".
He just couldn't move. His gimmick was kind of lame.
Yeah. He always had like a little handler with a mask called Kimchi or something.
Yeah, it's pretty gay. Yeah. Pretty lame, rather. I don't know.
I know that he had complications from diabetes and had lost both feet. And there'd been a lot of.
I mean, that's like as complicated as diabetes can get when you lose both of your digits, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, there had been a lot of. He'd been sort of like the poster child for a lot of the retired wrestlers that would try to put together, the reasoning behind why there should be things like medical insurance in wrestling, or, would try to put together
feet.
Try to put together.
Get these feet cut off, dog.
Retired wrestlers that have, having hard times. He was kind of like the poster child for that.
Reminds me of Major Payne. Just two little nubs.
Yeah, dude. I don't know, man.
I mean, he had a feud with Undertaker that was pretty big for a while there in the early 90s. Like you said, he got fed to Hogan. And the most part, he always had a little.
But you got to admit, when you saw it come across, you knew who it was.
Oh, yeah.
A part of me was even like, oh, damn, Kamala.
Yeah. He did the splash. He had like 4 moves, if that.
He was a very basic, to BV's point, like mid-card big guy.
Just a big dude. And he made a little career for himself. So it's sad he's dead at 70 years old and lost both of his feet.
What did he die from?
I'm going to guess it's complications of diabetes. I don't know.
Well, no, he actually, what I'd read yesterday was that he had literally tested positive for COVID one day, and then the next day he had, major cardiac arrest and died. So I guess technically it's complications from COVID, but who knows exactly.
But he
now
also had
going around the
diabetes.
room, we all know one person that passed away from COVID-19.
Yeah,
Kamala.
Uganda, the Ugandan giant. So ironically, this leads into
Or James Harris.
the next question, because WCW had a pay-per-view at Sturgis.
Yeah.
Back in the day, it was a terrible pay-per-view. So, Bill, are you getting on your new bike you bought and going to Sturgis for the motorcycle rally?
I'm going to show up on my Mongoose mountain bike.
Would you ride in there, hog? A mongoose.
Show up with the helmet on.
Out in the middle of nowhere.
Bike's pretty
sweet. Yeah, with
you're making
God knows how many
noises.
thousands of bikers with no masks or
Yeah, dude, it's
hard
crazy.
pass on that thing.
Yeah.
So
and
is it full? Or
dude, everyone's still showing up and they're making fun of people that are wearing masks and
Oh my
stuff.
God.
It is full white trash regalia. It's
I
weird
heard
because
200,000 people.
how many you got, BV?
I heard 200,000 people.
are showing up to this thing?
This is crazy. It's a huge. It's like
What state is Sturgis
one
in?
of the Dakotas. I want to
South
say.
Dakota, I believe.
Oh, well, there's only 5 people in that state.
So then, here comes 250,000 people to infect those 5 people.
Yeah.
They're like, dude, what the
They got a lot
hell?
of empty hospitals there.
Yeah,
So they're
I
good
don't
on
know,
that.
man. They don't let people in on Vespa, so I'm out. But I just thought it was weird. I'm like,
Sure.
to make fun of people for wearing a mask is pretty outrageous.
Oh, man. So there you go. Going down to Sturgis, and don't be a wuss.
Dude, come hard if you go to Sturgis, apparently.
So, Charles, this week I went down to Kentucky.
For a motorcycle rally? Or
No. I did see some unique things.
Yeah.
Now, first off, Kentucky is pretty similar to Michigan. I was surprised. I thought they were going to be very lenient on the COVID stuff.
Yeah.
But no, they required masks everywhere you went, and they kept everything up. It was like almost just like we are here. So it wasn't that big of a leap. I will say, right at Cincinnati, there's a bridge you get on right before you hit Kentucky.
I remember that, yeah.
Man, that thing was backed up for 40 minutes. And my navigation said, please find alternative route, people on the road. I thought it was a
What?
protest. Turns out it was just construction, but because me and Dan were looking around for a protest, we're like, we're gonna get stuck in a protest. It's gonna be awesome. No, it didn't happen. I'd never seen that warning on my GPS.
Yeah, wow, I don't either.
So we went down and saw our sister Patricia and her kids, our niece and nephew, Marion and Christopher. They're doing great. Christopher's headed back to college next week. He's going back. So he'll be in person there. And then Marion is her senior year, she's going to be a senior. Congratulations to her. She's going to be doing everything online. So she'll be doing that. And Trish is just working along at Amazon. So they're all doing pretty good. Now, I will say, and I'm going to say this right now on the podcast so Christopher can hear us. He listens all the time.
Okay.
Christopher, I know you wanted. He was depressed I was not wearing a pair of my fresh strawberries down there.
Oh, dude, the
So-
Starberries, the show of the podcast?
Yes, as the listener of the month, I'm going to send you a pair of strawberries.
Oh, Starberries.
Starberries. Sorry,
yeah.
Starberries. He 11 and a half. I give him a 12, right? Yeah.
Good luck to that. They got like
good
3
luck
sizes.
finding that.
Yeah, well, you may
It
get
was
a
like
14.
6, 10.
Quite frankly, a 14 will probably fit him.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
yeah.
So watch in the mail. I'm going to send you a
Oh, there
pair
you
down.
go. The shoe of the shoe of the podcast.
The official shoe of the podcast.
Get those Starberry
The
threes.
Starberries. So we all did go to dinner though that night, and we went to Fuji Steakhouse. Now this is
It's a knockoff Benihana.
yeah, and prices weren't that bad. Like a chicken dinner was only $16.
That's better than Benihana.
Steak dinner was only $20. And you
Are they
got the
cooking in
soup,
front of you?
Yeah,
What was
yeah.
the? So I know because my daughter is obsessed with Benihana.
which is ironic because my daughter hates it.
Oh my god, Lorna would
Holly's-
stab you for Benihana
Holly went with
steak.
us, didn't even order.
Really?
Just ate a little bit of Dad's, and that was it.
So my question to you: so Benihana here, I know for a fact again is closed. That's why I ended up at the Melting Pot out in Troy.
Mm-hmm.
How are they doing that? Because you got a person in your face cooking. How do they do that at a Tapanaki thing?
He's across the whole
Are they
grill.
masked up though? I guess is what I'm
Yeah,
trying
he
to
wore a
say.
mask.
Yeah.
He kept calling me Daddy. Okay, Daddy.
Oh,
It
Jesus.
was kind of funny. And then he shot sake in my mouth.
Oh.
It sounds very more sexual than it is.
Calling you daddy and
Are
shot
you
a
sure that's
sock.
what he shot in your mouth?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, BV's calling suspect.
Yeah, I know. So, but Holly said they didn't eat anything the whole time.
The whole time?
Yeah, Dad was loving it. He ordered
That
it.
food is so good.
There were some crab ragoons. He was all Fuji. Him and Marion were eating the shit out of those crab ragoons.
Man, yeah.
So it was good.
I love fried rice off that grill. Boy.
I got the noodles this time because I never had the noodles there.
I've never had the noodles either.
Yeah, it's good. Everything just tastes like soy sauce.
Dude, they
throw
that goddamn garlic butter on
butter and soy sauce. Everything tastes
the worst.
It's the only place I eat shrimp because shrimp just tastes like the soy sauce and the butter.
So good, man.
But it was good. I mean,
they bring out that yum sauce too. That weird like orange.
Yeah. That's just, the only thing I didn't care for, they gave us the soup, and it was mostly just water.
Yeah, it's brothy. You know who loves that again is Lorna. She loves the broth.
Just like chunks in her soup.
Dude, can't get enough.
I like the salad. Everything was good, though. It was a nice little place. And Christopher must love it. He doesn't eat much because he's bone thin.
Yeah.
He likes that.
But he was housing it, though, huh?
Yeah. He's got these pair. I want him to have maybe he'll text us a picture of these Nikes he got, man. You should see these futuristic looking.
I smell
orangish red.
Christopher, shoot it over to Steve so we can make it for the show.
Yeah, and he's got air soles in them. Like they're like that tall. And like
they're lifts, dude. Like what are they? Platform shoes?
It looks like it, man. But they're sharp looking. But they were like $200.
He's crazy.
He loves him some Nikes still. Where Holly's moved on to Crocs, Christopher's still with the Nikes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the Fuji Steakhouse, pretty good. Trish and them are good. My sister
local gig down there. I'm assuming. Yeah.
Yeah.
Local.
Yeah. I've never seen it before. So there you go. Now, one great thing on the way back, I'm going to tell you, Charles, this is a great value because it's absolutely free.
Jeez.
And parking is free. I was shocked.
The price is right. You don't pay a dime.
I don't know if you remember. We went as kids with Dad. He used to have one hangar and then some big planes out in the yard.
Remember.
That's how long it's been. So it's been over 20 years since I've been. I went when I was a teenager once. But now it's 4 hangars full of stuff. And each hangar is like a generation. Like, this is World War II.
I get
This is
Korean
Vietnam and
War.
Korea. This is current. They had some old Air Force One planes in there.
That's cool.
They had a space shuttle in there. They had rockets and nuclear
How is
rocket.
it free, I wonder?
We pay for it with taxes.
Yeah, like how are they paying for that?
Trump just gave the military how much?
Yeah, like what?
It's all free. Didn't have to pay a dime. And it is probably 2 hours to get through it all and look at everything. Oh. So, and like I said, I don't know, Bill didn't hear this, but Dad was looking for all the planes he worked on. And he found them all, and then found out they're all retired. He said, "Well, I guess I am old." I go, "Well, you're home. Your childhood home."
He needed this situation to know.
But I tell you what, if you have any kind of kid, I know Lauren is probably not into it, but if you had like some boy or some little kid that's really into planes and stuff, it's a great value, free, and it's in Dayton, Ohio. I highly suggest it. The Air Force Museum in Dayton, Ohio. So that's pretty much the trip. It was only a 2-day trip. It wasn't overly exciting, but there you go. Now this week we don't have any Pringles. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. I put in here. Apparently there's no new Pringles.
Don't have any.
Michelle
Pringles.
couldn't find any new Pringles at Meyer.
No, I do have some cherry wine at home. I haven't tried yet. I could have brought that.
I don't know. You and the cherries. How much cherry crap did you guys buy?
We bought cherry wine, cherry liqueur,
which is still up there.
Cherry fruit snacks that Holly ate all of, and then the cherry salsa.
Jesus Christ!
4 things.
Cherry on cherry.
Those
on
4 things were probably $36.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, so that's all we have for this week. All right, now we're going to go into reviews. We're moving right along. This week, we're whipping it out. Whipping it out.
Easy,
cracking
Whipping it out.
Bill was like, what?
Yeah.
So I watched the Umbrella Academy Season 2. Now, I know I am a giant comic nerd. Netflix is desperately looking to replace that Marvel gap that they lost. Yeah. This is good. I like it. It's It's like if you took X-Men and made them a little more quirky and funny than the serious tone that X-Men always has. And that's essentially what it is. The only thing I'll give a little bit of knock is a lot of time jumping. That gets a little
disjointed storytelling makes me mental.
Well, no, it's not. So what?
It's era jumping, like
yeah.
the 50s.
So they're in 2019, the first season, and then they jump back into 1963 this season. And then eventually at the end of the season, spoiler alert, it
all
back.
ties together.
Yeah. But I've never been a huge fan of all the time jumping stuff. But if it's done fine, it's all right. But it's a good show, and each character has quirky super abilities. It's one of the number one things on Netflix right now. I don't have to say
right now.
I don't have to say too much. It ties in pretty good. There's a character on there. I don't know the actor's name, but he plays Klaus, and his only power is to talk to dead people. He's totally kind of useless, but he's really skinny and always drunk. There's rumor they want to reboot the Pirates of the Caribbean, go younger and stuff. If they make a young Jack Sparrow, this guy should play him. Because Johnny Depp's like almost 60 now, so
he's into some legal issues with Amber Heard.
He's got my vote for young Jack Sparrow if they do.
All right,
that.
so if you need Steve's casting director, feel free to hit us
when
up
they
at
announce
the
that, I'll be like, I told you.
website.
But he's good, and then of course the girl from The Last of Us is in Ellen Page. She's one of the characters.
She's in everything.
Yeah, especially
she's a worker.
Yeah, she does crack out a lot of stuff. As a whole, the story was solid. Everything I liked, I give it an 8. I enjoyed it a lot.
Do you have to have seen the first season to kind of build on
they
it?
They recap pretty good. I mean, you could watch that recap, that 5-minute recap in the beginning.
I tried to watch it because you were so high in the first season, and a lot of people are. To your point, it's just not for me.
It's superhero based, so I didn't think you'd like it. That's
not
why.
For me. Yeah.
I mean, you gotta like superheroes a little bit. Yeah. Compare this to The Boys on Amazon, I like The Boys better. It's a lot more graphic and it's more gory, but still just as funny. I like The Boys a little better, but this is not bad. This is pretty good. And it is based on an independent comic, I think through Dark Horse Comics. So there you go. Umbrella Academy, a solid 8 for Steve. Now this next one, man, I'm telling you, I wanted to like this way better than I did.
Wow.
Did you watch it?
So the new Muppets, I have not watched it, but again, me and you, soft spots for the Muppets.
Yes,
I
have soft
do.
spots.
I don't know how else to explain it. I enjoy them. I love the characters. I loved Muppet Babies as a kid. I just love the Muppets.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, when they rebooted that newer movie with old boy from How I Met Your Mother and all that kind of stuff.
I thought that movie was okay.
It's okay. It was very, and I think that it's probably a mediocre movie that me and you find okay because of our love of Muppets. I think is.
And this show is the same way. It's just like, it's okay. So basically, you know how the original Muppet Show was in a big theater and they would do different
segments. They were putting
segments?
on a show. Yeah.
This one's kind of part website. So you're going to different sections of the website. So like Piggy's got her own fashion blog and vlog, they call it. And she comes on and does a bit. And then the only highlight I liked, they did a cooking segment with an actual real chef.
Swedish Fish?
And the Swedish chef came out and he just butchered it. And then he ordered DoorDash. And stuff going. That was kind of funny. But everything else just kind of fell flat. And they did like this long interview with RuPaul at the end where Kermit interviewed him. But everyone kept interrupting them and stuff. And it was trying for the flair of the old one mixed with a little modern with the website. I think Muppets might should just stay in our childhood.
Wow.
Now we've had 2 okay movies.
Because they let that Muppet section of the park die. I talked to you about that when I came back. It's kind of like, oh, geez, but maybe you're saying like there's a reason for it.
Yeah, maybe just do a movie once every 5 years.
Oh,
wow. I don't. And because it's Disney Plus, you only get 1 episode. So
they're weekly kick.
Yeah. So I'll try it again next week. But I think this is rose nostalgia glasses, and even with them, Kermit's voice is different now because of the guy that was doing. Okay, so Jim Henson died, then the guy took over his son, just like Jim Henson. And then he quit because he had a falling out with the studios over something. I forget what it was. So the new guy, he's close but not quite, and it's Piggy's still Frank Oz, and Fozzie's in it too, but very little. Gonzo was in it very little. And they always try to pump in like new Muppets, you know. I don't all we want to see is the originals, you know. Like Walter from the movie showed up, and it's like, I don't get rid of him, bring Gonzo in. Or bring in Beaker and the fucking the Bunsen.
Bunsen Honeydew.
Yeah,
I love
you
Bunsen
didn't get them in the first episode.
Beaker's really good too.
Maybe he'll get better as it goes, but right now it's.
They got Ralph in it. Is Ralph playing the piano anywhere?
He's not in it. He wasn't in this episode.
How about Scooter and Skeeter?
Scooter is the tech that made the website, so Kermit's yelling at him about different things.
I love some Muppets.
Yeah, the girl from the band shows up, and
the blonde hair girl.
She's in the Piggy segment where they're talking about stuff. But no boomerang fish guy. He's not in it. So I mean, it's only the first episode. So I understand.
Maybe they'll flesh it out a little bit.
But there was a lot.
Are you definitely going to watch the next episode
to see if it gets better? If it stays the same or gets worse, then I'm gonna be out.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So probably Friday will be. Even Michelle, she's a diehard, our age group.
Yeah.
She was just kind of lukewarm on it too. So I was like, kind of bummed. Right now it's the Steve 6.
Oh man. Okay.
So there we go. Now this next one is an HBO Max, and we've got a lot of Warner Brothers news I want to talk about that may not have put on here, but we're going to talk about some stuff that AT&T and Warner Brothers doing.
Yeah.
But before that, let's tell me about Seth Rogen being pickled.
Yeah. So, you brought this up a little while ago in the rapid fire stuff, and you explained to me the premise of an American Pickle, a Seth Rogen movie that's going directly to HBO Max. And I was super intrigued. I was like, okay, Seth Rogen is very polarizing on, like, some of his stuff is just belly laugh funny, and then some of his stuff is just kind of like,
Let me take a poll around the room now. Who do you like better, Will Ferrell, Seth Rogen? Bill?
Probably neither one of them better. They're kind of similar to me.
Yeah,
I like them in parts where they're not carrying a movie, but otherwise, when they have to carry movies, they tend to underwhelm.
I gotta tell you, like when Will Ferrell's hilarious, he's some of the funniest shit on TV. So on a movie.
Put that word "win" in there.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like if I'm gonna like kill one off and have to keep one, I'm gonna keep Will Ferrell. Will Ferrell is hilarious.
I would go with Rogen.
Yeah, I think that he is just one of the funniest dudes when he's on. I can't get enough Will Ferrell at times. But so I gotta tell you, so basically this movie starts out. He's a Jewish Polish immigrant who falls in love with a young lady, and they immigrate to the U.S. And he ends up getting a job in a pickle factory. And he falls into a vat of pickles and literally gets pickled. This is the Seth Rogen character who plays the main guy.
Yeah.
And he gets pickled, and then 100 years later, kids flying a drone stumble into this abandoned pickle factory and, oops, accidentally open him up. And I got to tell you, the movie does a funny thing where it's like, they know it's a stupid premise, and all the reporters that are like interviewing, like, wait, so you've just been in a pickle barrel for 100 years? Like, and they're like, yes, stop asking questions. Trust me, it works. It was kind of funny, and it got the point. Like, okay, like just follow me on this premise. You know what I mean? Like, I thought that was very self-aware and very funny. So basically, you get this 1919 Polish Jewish immigrant, and he now has to be living in 2019. And he goes and finds his great-grandson. And his great-grandson is like, obviously, it's Seth Rogen playing both parts. Mm-hmm. It's like a Martin Lawrence movie or an Eddie Murphy movie that way. And he basically, imagine you're like this hardened Polish immigrant, and you see like a weenie tech developer like great-grandson. Yeah. And that's kind of the premise of it.
Yeah.
So, like, of course, the 1919 Seth Rogen wants to go and find his wife that he loved, and then he's into like the tradition of family and all this kind of stuff. So basically, what I'm trying to say is this movie is Seth Rogen's love letter to his Jewish heritage. Mm. And it also comes in, him and his great-grandson end up starting a beef. So then he goes out and starts selling his own artisanal pickles. Mm. And of course, like hipsters are way into like his authentic hipster, so it's like it gets really spun up. So then the modern day Seth Rogen uses cancel culture to basically give him a hard time. Like he starts spouting off like 1919 Jewish immigrant stuff and goes crazy. Yeah. So it's a lot of like Seth Rogen's take on like Jewish heritage and like what would your great grandparents think, and then cancel culture. I gotta tell you, we review a lot of stuff on this channel or on this show or whatever you want to call what we do here every week, and we often complain that there's not a lot of original ideas in Hollywood. This, at least, I can say, not completely hilarious, but it had an original premise, and it had some moments that I was entertained by it. Mm-hmm. So I would say, out of 10, I'm going to give it like a 6.5, 7. Not a complete Steve 6. It's a little bit over the average streaming movie for me, but it's not anything that's that amazing. But again, I respect the fact that it's doing a little something different that we just don't see out of Hollywood lately. So it's got funny moments because, like I said, that he just... The great grandson's such a weenie, and like the old school guy just can't get it. Like, no, we go pray, right? And like, the whole time I was like, I'm not into that, And like, it's really kind of funny, and it's a solid Seth Rogen 7. I think I'm gonna go to a 7.
At what point does James Franco show up?
No James Franco.
What?
Is
that allowed?
No, nothing like that.
That was allowed.
Not a lot of like weed references or anything.
Oh,
so it was, I think that you could see the conversation that came up of what would it be like if your great-grandparents saw you today and like how they would be. You know what I mean? Like that's because you know how history and your family lineage is so big in Jewish culture. So you could see how Seth Rogen had those conversations, and that was kind of the spawn of this movie and all this kind of stuff. So I would say I would recommend American Pickle but don't think it's going to be like, oh my God.
Roaring hilarious.
Yeah, you got to go stop everything you're doing and watch it. But it's definitely, it's a worthy, like, yeah, this is pretty good, you know? And that's, I guess, what it boils down to.
Bill, what are your thoughts? Would you watch American Pickle?
I'm not as interested in it now as I was originally, but
you killed it for him, Charles.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I guess maybe I'm just not excited enough about it. I have a problem with that.
Yeah,
but,
you're very lukewarm.
Yeah, I honestly, because I was planning, as I said last week, to see what his review was and then decide whether I'd watch it. I'm probably not going to now.
I mean, it's not, and I would say that BV's not going to regret that choice, is what I'm trying to say. It's not like, oh my God, you never saw an American Pickle. You're never going to break someone's balls for having not seen American Pickle. Right. But like, there's definitely moments you're like, yeah, okay, and I think that's the point of it.
All right, this next one, I'm hoping for it. What are you saying, Charles? What are you saying?
Okay, so
that's not good.
Steve, you've watched this show. This is you have watched this show?
Yeah.
What We Do in Shadows on FX.
The show. I haven't watched the movie.
That's what I'm talking about. So I'm going to talk about the show. I watched this on Hulu. And basically, this is The Office meets Transylvania. This show's terrible.
Oh, I like it.
You're completely wrong.
Oh, man.
Do not watch What We Do in Shadows. Because
here's Colin Robinson?
Okay, here's the problem. Craig Robinson, you mean?
No, Colin Robinson is the bald guy that's in the back room.
Okay. The energy vampire. Yeah. The problem is with the show, the three main the reason why The Office is so good is because it had a variety of characters. In this What We Do in Shadows, the three main characters are the same person and the same character. They're no different in between the three main characters. So it just falls flat. I don't know how else to describe it. Like, I think that, again, to your point and kind of along American Pickle kind of conversation, they've got a good concept. They need to flesh it out a little more, or they need, I don't know. They're going for that fourth wall, talk to the documentary guys and all that. It's exactly like The Office that way. Mm-hmm. But, man, it is just not that funny and not that good. I don't know how else to describe it. It is a solid 4 out of 10, dude.
Oh,
this is not good, man. I am about 2/3 of the way through that first season. And so then, to Steve's point, there's a modern form of a vampire, an energy vampire, who is the guy in the office who talks to something, and they never want to deal with him because he always sucks the energy out of the room and all that. Yeah. I get it. Like, and it was funny the first 700 times they did it but every episode is him. And then they introduce an emotional vampire later. Dude, that show's not good, Steve. I'm just telling you, man. And it's one of those shows I feel like I wanted to watch. And I was like, yeah, okay. Like, I'm into it. The Office meets vampires. Dude, this is not good, man. FX is struggling for
Craig
me.
Robinson does show up.
Yeah, he does.
He plays a vampire hunter.
Okay.
Mark Hamill shows up. There's a lot of people been on it, yeah.
Nick
Kroll. I liked it.
I don't know, man. And the werewolf showed up.
I just like how the one talks all the time. My love, the guy, the main vampire, not the tall guy, but the shorter guy. I like him.
Dude, it is not that good, Steve. Man. You're selling it more than I can. It is not good.
I enjoy that show, but
it's into season 2 at this point. Yeah, it's got a second season and stuff, and I think I want to like it more than I do. It is not good for me.
Can't fault you.
Yeah,
but I do like it.
What would you give it out of 10?
The first season is 7, and the second season an 8.
Oh wow! Yeah. So you're pretty high on it. That's big praise for Steve.
There's a really good episode with that energy vampire in the second season, where he walks into this office and gets promoted, and because he sucks up so much that he becomes like the most powerful being on earth, and his head gets super huge, like Megamind and stuff. It's pretty funny, but you don't like it. So
that's a long haul for me to get to it.
It's funny you say that because now we go on to the next show, which I don't like and you do like.
Here we go.
So there we go.
This is why we do this show. We both hate
we
each
don't
other.
agree on everything.
So I watched. So Blackish is one of my favorite shows. To Steve's point, it is hands down the best sitcom on TV. I don't know if you call it a sitcom or like a modern sitcom or whatever you call it. And in season 4, they had an episode that the network in ABC, because of the the politicalness of it, they refused to air it, and they basically stopped airing it because of creative differences with the show. And now ABC has turned around and allowed them to post the show onto Hulu. And this is from season 4, and it's Blackish. It's called Please Baby Please. And I got to tell you, Steve's going to disagree with me. Here's why I love Blackish. Blackish talks about the uncomfortable things that most white people hate to talk about. And they love to put into the forefront African-American culture and why we're hypocrites as a white person. I tend to like to learn from it. I enjoy it. I also like the Anthony Anderson character's perspective of being like a really strong black man, but he also kind of gets shit on by his family still and all that kind of stuff. With that being said, this is a very preachy episode. I will tell you that. And it doesn't come with a lot of laughs, but Blackish tends to walk that line of like educating you. And then, so Steve is out. Yeah.
0 laughs.
Yeah.
Any episode of Blackish where he doesn't go to work and talk to his coworkers, automatically
Stevens
sucks.
and Alito, man. Yeah.
Yeah, because those guys are the highlight. But
And we kind of talked pre-show. I think that ABC is very weak for not letting this episode on the air.
Yeah.
It almost gave it more power than they needed to by not airing it.
it's just a political statement that everybody else has done a million times. So
Yeah, I don't know
it
why
didn't do
they-
anything new,
It wasn't that controversial to me.
Yeah, it was
I don't
just-
know.
maybe they banned it because it just wasn't funny. So it's a comedy
But see,
show.
I
This
told
show-
you, like,
this episode sucks.
I told when I was watching it, I go, Heather, Steve hates us because he needs the funny. I
was
come to
no
you
funny.
for my funny, and you got no funny. That's why you hate the divorce stuff too. There was
Oh,
no
that
funny.
was terrible too.
So good, man. I can't get enough of that show.
Just do the whole show at his work. That'd be so much better.
Yeah,
That
I'm
would
not
be the
here.
hands down the funniest show on TV if they did that. Every episode just at work.
Dude, I'm telling you,
Especially with
man.
Charlie. The one, the
Yeah, he's fantastic.
That guy is a
in that
riot.
show. Yeah, I'm not here to. I get why Steve's saying it. I'm not saying he's wrong for it. I just like Blackish's messaging so much. It's just great for me. I can't explain
Is this the funniest show on television right now?
Name me a funnier show. I'll wait for it.
It's like Bill will relate to this when you got that heavyweight boxer as a champ just because all the other heavyweight boxers are
Just
shitty.
lack of options.
Yeah. I mean, Family Guy's still on. You could say Family Guy's funnier than Blackish. but-
Yeah.
Family Guy hasn't been funny in 10 years.
Oh, I would disagree with BB on that one.
But
It's
what-
the same thing they've been doing for.
I
The
love
shtick
Family
gets,
Guy.
It's just like The Simpsons. The shtick gets old after a while.
Well, Blackish hasn't been funny at all. So
Blackish is excellent.
Steve
I'm
and
with
me
Charles on
always
this one.
never see eye to eye on this one. What'd you say, BB?
I said, I'm with Charles on this. I'm a big fan of the show. I haven't seen the episode.
Dude,
but,
it's super good, man. I can't tell you enough, man. I just, like I said, I think that Blackish does a great job of discussing the things that white people are uncomfortable with. And like I said, I think it's great that way. I think it's funny. To your point, I think they do a good job of having the rich white people in his office, and they're like, they can't even wrap their head around some of the stuff he does. They're like, wait, what? Why would you do that? You
And
know?
then Crazy Charlie. the
Yeah,
dude.
I love Blackish. I can't say enough. But this episode is, I think that ABC gave it more power by not airing it.
And
think
I like Anthony Anderson a lot. I've always
Yeah.
have. I like if you watch To Tell the Truth with him on it with his mama.
I haven't seen that one.
Oh, it's a game show. It's where they bring up the three people. Two of them are lying. You got to pick which one.
okay.
That's funny as hell. He's on there
Yeah.
all the time. His mom's on there. He brings his mom on there.
His mom's
I
on
like-
that Verizon commercial
To
too,
me,
right?
To tell the truth, it's funnier than Blackish. I'll watch that game show before I watch
Dude,
Blackish.
I can't get enough of Blackish.
The other thing about Blackish I don't like,
Oh,
they act like that
easy,
mom.
Steve.
They act like-
Easy, Steve.
They act like that mom is so hot, and she's so not.
I am attracted to her.
She's got
Tracy
bug
Ellis
eyes and a
Ross
giant
is-
afro.
is
She's
very
not.
hot. I can't.
You think she's hot?
I can't explain to you why, but she is. I totally think she's hot.
The daughter that was on there was better looking than her.
Dude, I'd call me crazy. I'm into her. She's hot, dude. Rainbow Johnson is hot, dude. I don't know. Traditionally, no. I'm not saying that, but something about her, she checks some Charles boxes. for
I
me.
don't get
don't
that.
know.
Well, you're not the only one. A lot of people go on
Yeah.
about it, and I'm like, what, her?
Yeah, she's hot. And like,
I don't get
I don't
that.
know, man.
Bill,
I'll be
is she
honest
hot? Yes or no?
I'm in between. Probably not into her the way Charles is. But I think she's pretty hot.
Yeah, dude. Oh my
I
god,
don't
yeah.
get it.
She's an attractive young lady, dude.
And then episodes that are based on her, I hate.
I mean, you are
Anthony Anderson and Pops. I like Pops a lot.
he's great too.
I even like
but
the
they
mom.
make him pretty weak with all the stuff with the stepmom. And
I like the mom. The mom too. I just don't like the mother. And I didn't like the older daughter, but she left to go do her own show.
Yeah, she hadn't been on in years.
And I don't know.
I get it. We're not going to agree on this one.
Yeah.
Just like we're not going to agree on Marvel stuff and superhero
Shadows,
stuff.
yeah.
And In the Shadows is not good. What we do in the
If
Shadows.
Blackish are in the shadows, I'm watching What We Do in the Shadows first.
Well, let's not make any mistake, though. Steve's wrong on this.
I probably am.
On which that Tracy Ellis Ross is hot or that Blackish
No, on more so on the show, but yeah.
Okay.
This motherfucker. So also we got trouble with the feed. Cut it out.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, I give you this. You just cut BB. No,
just cut
BB. Well, anyways, Bill, I watched something you're gonna love.
Yeah.
I'm
Get Steve's
sure.
corner bug up here with the Deadpool picture.
So,
Deathstroke.
as everyone knows, I am a big animation fan. So Steve's
Anyone who's
animation
listened to more than 3 episodes of this show knows that.
And the other thing I'm a big fan of is comic books. So you put the two together, that's a Steve sandwich right there. And this week from DC Animated,
This
before
is Steve's animation corner for
yes,
the week.
it is. This is Deathstroke, Knights and Dragons. This is an hour-and-a-half long feature film, animated, 2D.
So wait, I want to make sure.
But you watched an hour and a half of this shit?
He does all the time. You act like you're so surprised, baby.
Yeah, well, I mean,
How
yeah,
did you? So you rented this on Vudu? You bought this on Vudu?
I bought this for $19.99.
Oh wow!
My wife doesn't know that. That's probably
So
gonna be
I
big.
hope it's good for you.
I liked it. I did.
okay.
I liked the character Deathstroke.
I was going to ask you what propelled you because
Deathstroke's
you're
a
usually
mercenary.
very anti like paying $19.99.
Yeah, I am. But I'm comic book. My nerd thing is itching. and
Needed
I
that
had to get-
content.
I need
Steve's
it.
like-
I've always been a big Deathstroke fan. Deathstroke is essentially what Deadpool was for Marvel.
Is he a sassy and kind of that?
No, well, that's where they varied. So Deathstroke was a superpowered mercenary. Deadpool was too. But then Marvel took Deadpool, made him like this slapstick idiot, and turned him into a good guy. Where Deathstroke is what they would
Deathstroke reminds me of a G.I. Joe character.
Yeah. He's like if Captain America was a mercenary. Is essentially what he is. He had training and the steroids or whatever put in him from the U.S. government and stuff like that. And then he ended up leaving and going to be an assassin. Is pretty much. And he stayed bad the whole time.
BV knew all this. by
Yeah,
the
he
way.
did. Yeah, he's like God, Steve. Who doesn't know that? Michael Chiklis played the voice of it. He's the only really name in the show that I knew of. It's a little bit of exposition, a lot. He has
Is this an origin story or is
a
this...
little bit, not much. His origin was told in flashbacks, pretty much.
Okay.
But he's an assassin. This is I never understand. This is cartoons, movies, anything. Anybody's a mercenary / assassin. Why do you have a family? Because you just know
whack that whole crew.
they're either going to get whacked or held for ransom. And that's exactly what happened. As soon as they came out, I looked at Michelle and go, why? Why does he have a family?
Why did John Wick have the dog?
Yeah, it's like, there's some things in life.
Don't love anything.
If
Just
you
understand.
are a crazy psychopathic murderer, you should not have a wife and kid.
But Steve, you can't help who you fall in love with.
I guess not. So, of course, he has a wife and kid. Of course, his kid gets taken.
Steve's just sitting there like,
Yeah, that was too predictable right there.
Let me ask the question here. Let me derail you and you get in the story.
Yeah.
What's the art style like? Do we have a Batman
It's-
the animated series
uh,
or more comic book?
More comic book.
detailed?
It looks a lot like that. Well, you didn't watch it. The Mortal Kombat animated movie I just watched a couple months ago. It looks a lot like that. And so it's like the same kind of animation group. They
Like
got
the same
to do it.
house or something.
Yeah,
like that,
but except remember I bitched because they had that weird black on a lot of the characters, and they took that off. They kind of listened, and then
They adapted a little bit.
Adapted a little bit, so it looked a lot better. It was as violent as the video game one though, because his swords and stuff. He sticks his sword through
So
a guy's
it's made
forearm,
for
out
adult
his
type
elbow.
stuff.
Yeah. So it's very violent. The sad thing is, this Deathstroke character was supposed to be a big part of the DC movies that were coming up. And the guy from True Blood, the guy who's married to the girl off of...
The blonde guy, yeah.
No. Married to the girl on America's Got Talent, the Colombian girl. Joe Manganiello.
Manganiello,
whatever his
yeah.
name. He was playing
Big time
Deathstroke.
Pittsburgh Steeler fan.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
So he was, and they were going to use this character for quite a bit. He was supposed to be in the new Batman movie. He was going to be in Justice League.
So they saw a Deadpool opportunity within this character.
And then, of course, Justice League came out and flopped, and they scrapped all that. So they never got to use this character. So essentially, if you want to see Deathstroke, this is it here. Or you can watch the
Do you
second
think they're doing
season of Arrow.
let me ask the question again. Is DC doing themselves a disservice by not utilizing this character more, in Steve's opinion?
Yes. Yeah, they really are.
You
Especially
think
because
you can wrap a movie around
one,
this?
you got the familiarity of Teen Titans Go. You knew
I knew
because
it
of
was,
DC, but the thing is, where DC varies from Marvel is DC has a lot of good villains, where Marvel has like 4. so I can see why it's. But Batman has so many villains. I mean, how many times do we have to see Catwoman or Joker? You could have put Deathstroke in one of those. You know, yeah, they should capitalize more on him. Is essentially what they should do. And it looks like they were going to, and then everything fell apart. So, so who knows what the hell they're doing? But the movie is solid. It's an hour and a half long. It's made by DC Animation. It's got good voice acting. Animated pretty well. It's very violent, so you can't really watch it with kids. I would not do that. Even a weird sex scene pops up in there where you just see his ass cracking. It's like, yeah, okay.
All right, I'm in.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. So I give it probably a solid 7. It's good. It's not.
Should BV watch it?
No, Bill should not watch this. I would not suggest.
It's way into this review.
I know Bill would probably zone out in the first 10 minutes. It would have got maybe a little higher. Like I said, it's very exposition heavy. Like the villain would come out and talk for like 10 minutes straight about what he's doing, and then his son.
Do you
would
regret spending $19.99?
Yeah, I probably should have waited a week and rented it, but in the end, I'll probably watch it again. So I'm not. I'm one guy that does watch multiple.
You
times.
also love the Vudu platform.
Yeah, well,
you're all in on Vudu. Yeah.
Ironically enough, I have a gift card on my iTunes that Michelle bought, and
it wasn't on there.
It wasn't on there. It was only on Vudu. So I don't know if they cut a deal with Vudu or what the deal was. It was early release. It's not. It'll be on DVD by the end of the month, but I had to get it early, man.
Steve couldn't wait for that family
can't wait.
video.
So there we go. Steve's Animation Corner, Deathstroke, Knights and Dragons. There is a new animated show on Netflix, but I don't know if I'm going to watch it. It's the Wizards of Arcadia.
I don't think I know that one.
It's DreamWorks presents. It's young wizards trying to get along. So I don't know.
It sounds awful.
It looks more Michelle-ish than Steve-ish.
Yeah.
I'm not a big wizard fan, but Bill is. Now, last week, guys, I took your advice.
I just love flipping back to BB.
So I took your advice last week. You guys told me, forget that Star Wars, forget that Conan.
Oh, okay.
Go to the sci-fi, find the one on top of the list, and
pop
get
for it. Yeah.
Well, ironically, I got a great value because on top of the list was Freedom's Fire, and it is 6 books for the price of 1. So it's 33 hours worth of audio books. It's 6 books, like I said. I've made it through the first book. It just Freedom Fire is the name of the first book. That was about roughly 8 hours.
So set up what premise you got here. What do we got?
This is what maybe they should have done with the sequel to Independence Day. So what happens is aliens come down, take over the Earth. And now we're fast forward a couple centuries now. So humans have been slaves to these aliens.
Oh.
So
what are they using us for? To harvest energy or something?
They're using us to build weapons to fight other aliens and using us as grunts on their front lines.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, so that's pretty sweet, right?
Right.
So they call them the Greys, is the aliens that took us over. Then a new alien set comes in and starts fighting the Greys. They're called the Trogs, T-R-O-G.
And we're in the middle as like they're
So the Greys say, if you put this suit on, go fight these Trogs. Here's a weird thing about this book, though. When the gray aliens came down to take over, there's a country that decided to immediately befriend the Greys, and they use that country and their people to help maintain and police the whole world. Any guess on what country it is?
India.
North Korea.
Oh, wow.
So the North Koreans are like...
Is this like a propaganda book?
I
wonder
don't
if you
know,
stumbled
but-
upon like a Kim Jong-un propaganda book.
The North Koreans cut a deal with them, and so in the Greys end up blowing up China and South Korea and let the North Koreans, basically they're like the military police for the Greys, and they run all us humans to make weapons and stuff. So
I gotta tell you, it sounds kind of good.
And it started. So there's a guy named, I forget his name, Dylan something is the main guy. I should know it. It's Dylan something. I can't remember. He's gonna.
Is it told from one guy's perspective?
Yeah. And what he's gonna do is he's gonna help win the war against the Trogs, and then he's gonna he's
leading a resistance,
a revolution against the Greys. So that's what he wants to do. He wants to eliminate all of them. And he's already this first book is his first mission. So he joins the military. He goes up there. He destroys one big ship. It's a lot of action right at the get-go. They got spacesuits they all put him in.
Sounds like it could be a good TV show or something.
Yeah, it is really good. So I had to give a big thumbs up. After listening to the Foundation, I was over audiobooks. I was like, this is... If all audiobooks are going to be like this.
Wow.
So I'm at work listening, and it's pretty good.
Steve's you chewed it up, huh?
Yeah. So it humans and
what'd you have a listen about 5.5 hours that first book?
No, it's like 7.
Jeez,
it's pretty
tore
long.
right through that shit. It must
It's
have been
60 something chapters at 10 minutes a piece, roughly. And the cool thing about the guy reading, he does different voices.
Oh, so you kind of keep
he does like a few, but then he does like a racist North Korean voice.
Jeez.
Like, wait, hey, y'all pay by the sounds
like, Steve's like, we live in different times.
I know. Well, this book was made in 2017, I guess, so it's pretty recent. Big thumbs up. So I was losing faith at that first movie.
So where are we going? So you have all the other 5 books.
Yeah.
Where do you go at the end of book 1 into book 2?
Right now there is a human resistance in an asteroid belt. There's a big, most of the book is him destroying one of the Trog ships and then getting that beater ship that's behind Bill. That's one of the ships that were made. That he's getting that to the human resistance. And a group of freedom fighters with him. And that's kind of how it ends right there when he makes it to the base. So the next book's going to pick up from there. It's probably going to finish off the
Sounds like it
Trog.
could be a good TV show or something.
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of that Falling Skies that was on TNT that had bad graphics, but had a good concept. They had Noah Wiley in it and stuff like that. So I took your guys' advice. I took it on a limb, and it wasn't that
worked
bad.
out, yeah.
I thought for sure it was going to be a stinker. I thought for sure I was going to be done with Audible.
Wow.
But now I got 6 books. So I don't really need Audible for a while. I might cancel the Audible
a month and jump
until I
back
finish these. It's going to take me 2 months to finish 6 books. But yeah, I mean, so thumbs up to that one. Freedom's Fire. So it's very military based. A lot of military stuff. No real relation stuff that much. So pretty good. Pretty good. Bill, any books you're going to start working on, or are you done with books?
No, I'm not done with books. I just haven't really been thinking about what to read recently, so I'll come up with something soon.
It's because he's riding that mongoose so hard all the time.
You doing mad
Did you
tricks?
take your steed out lately, BV?
Yeah, I get it out a few times a week.
Nice. This guy.
Man.
Looking fit.
So, new this week on TV. Let's go to TV. Let's go to streaming. First up, Rob Schneider, Asian Mama, Mexican Kids. I believe this is a stand-up by Rob Schneider. I don't think this is a movie or a show. So if it's a stand-up, I'd be interested to watch to see if he's still funny. I've never seen a Rob Schneider stand-up, so I might be interested. I'm a yes.
I got to tell you, Rob Schneider is such a weird anti-vaxxer, though. He does kind of annoy me now.
How do you know that?
He's big into anti-vaccination stuff.
Oh.
And he like a big vocal person, and that's kind of Jenny McCarthy kind of thing where I'm like, I can't stand you as a human, and it's hard for me to turn that off. I think I'm gonna wait and listen for if you and BV watch it, and if it's really funny, I might dip into it. But like, I'm kind of soured on Rob Schneider, so I'm a no as of right now.
Bill, what do you think?
I used to like Rob Schneider quite a bit, but as he's gotten older, it's just not much to him anymore. And I have seen one of his stand-ups. It's an older stand-up on one of the streaming services a couple of years ago, and I wasn't particularly impressed with it. So probably end up watching it, but I'm not really hopeful that it's going to be anything great.
All right. So I'm interested because he's one guy I've never seen a stand-up from. So I know I've seen Saturday Night Live stuff, a lot of movies, TV shows, but this next one I'm really interested in. It's called Unwell, a wellness documentary. They're going into the world of like holistic healing and stuff and telling you how much of it's crap. You know, like the oxygen bars and all these local health
Those weird
trends.
Gwyneth Paltrow things.
Yes. So this documentary is going to take a look at that and let you know how much of this is bull and how much of it, none of it actually works. Very interested in this one. I got to see this, so I'm a big yes.
Sounds great to me. Yeah, it's right up my alley. And the Netflix documentaries, man, I'm oddly a sucker for that. You can't tell by the podcast every week. So I'm a yes.
And Bill?
Yeah, I'll probably watch it.
Yeah, so it looks pretty good. I just want him to shoot holes in all that hippie dippy bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, I'm putting mud up my
There's just
nostrils.
no change.
Holding a rock in my vagina. All right, so next, I don't have HBO anymore, but Hard Knocks is back with the Los Angeles Rams and the LA Chargers. I did see a highlight, man. What's that? What's the defensive lineman for the Rams? Bill Glover? Not Donald Glover. I always say
Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald. That's it. God, I got screwed up. That dude's jacked, man.
Yeah.
He's been working out.
He worked in the dungeon all the time too. He like worked out in the basement.
I don't have HBO, so unfortunately, I'm a no. Charles.
Huge yes. I love Hard Knocks every year. They make you care about these rookies that no one gives a shit about. Hard Knocks is one of the best shows on all of television. Yes, yes, yes.
Bill?
Yeah, I like the show, but has it already started?
I believe so. This week it started, yeah.
I will watch it then. I didn't know it started.
It should be on tonight then, if that's the case, right? Isn't it usually on Tuesday night?
Yeah, off of Sunday. Yeah.
I saw a highlight of it.
I watch it on demand after the fact. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh.
Great show.
Oh,
Great show. If you're even a remote football fan, it's the best show.
Yeah, when I have HBO, I always watch them.
Oh, my God. They're just so candid and everything. It's so great.
So the next one is Star Trek Lower Decks. This is an animated comedy show about
looks
Star
kind of
Trek.
like The Simpsons. And
Yeah,
stuff like that. It's got a
unfortunately,
Futurama vibe.
It's on the streaming service nobody has, CBS All Access. So I might watch this when it comes out on DVD. So I'm a no for Star Trek Lower Decks.
You said Star Trek? I'm a no. Star Trek is terrible. No.
And Bill?
Everything Charles just said.
So, and finally, Tacoma FD. Now, this is from the guys at Super True. Some people love them, some people not so much. I thought they were okay. I never understood the super appeal for them. If it's on, I'd probably watch it, but I always forget what channel True TV is, so I'm a no. Charles?
These guys have been trying to make another Super Troopers. Super Troopers is a fantastic movie, but they've never been able to catch that lightning in the bottle more than the one time. So it's called Broken Lizard is the guys that do all that stuff. And Super Troopers is one of the funniest movies, but again, they just can't do it. They've never been able to replicate the funniness.
Because this is the second show. They've had another show where
They've had a bunch of stuff, bunch of movies, Beer League, and all that. It's not good. They haven't been able to do it. And they sequelized Super Troopers, and it was terrible.
I didn't even know Super Troopers had a sequel.
That's why.
Bill, what do you think of Tacoma FD?
I haven't seen it, but much like, kind of to echo Charles, love Super Troopers, but most everything they've done after that just doesn't hit the mark. I wouldn't have any. This looks like another twist upon trying to get Super Troopers, a similar vibe to Super Troopers, and it's not the same.
All right, so that's the look at what's new this week. Charles, who's punching people in the face this week?
So into the pugilism report, because we have this every week. Big fight night happened this past week. Derek Lewis, my balls is hot. Derek
my
Lewis,
favorite fighter,
fought Alexei Olechnik and KO'd him again in the second round. Derek Lewis is officially the #1 KO artist of all heavyweights of all time for the UFC.
Oh, wow.
He has more KOs than anyone ever. The funniest thing was actually the fight in typical Derek Lewis fashion. In the middle of the interview, he goes, "I gotta take a shit." He's like, he legit style said that. He's like, "Oh, I'm on the air." Dude's funny. Dude's good stuff. I like Derek Lewis a lot. Funny dude.
They need to promote that guy more.
Yeah, they really do, and I think he's gonna get the big push. I think it's what they're gonna do here.
And that means he'll lose.
And that's no one told the other fighter. Because Francis Ngannou's a crazy person. Yeah. Now, this Saturday, speaking of crazy people and heavyweights and all this kind of stuff, we got UFC 252 coming to you from the UFC Apex. This is the rubber match for Stipe Miocic, Daniel Cormier. They both have won one. Cormier won 226. Miocic won 241 for the title. For all intents and purposes, Daniel Cormier is going to retire after this, so this is definitely his last hurrah. It's not interesting enough for me to drop the $65 on it.
Yeah, that's a little much.
I'm just going to check it out and see that Daniel Cormier lost because Stipe Miocic is going to win again. There you go. See you later. Go out on your back. The other one, Sean O'Malley, a 12-0 fighter, is fighting this Marlon Vera. The Sean O'Malley guy has gotten a lot of pub because he's finishing people quickly, and like I said, he's undefeated. He's one of these little white trash dudes that can really throw hands. He's like another Jorge Masvidal kind of thing, and he's just dropping people. So he's got a lot of push behind him. pretty exciting every time I've seen his fights, so we'll see. But anyway, that's what's going on in the world of UFC for the week.
Why I got you on the UFC mode. What happened to that little Trump dude?
Oh, Colby Covington?
Yeah.
He's around. I think he got hurt at the end of his last fight, so he's been kind of on the shelf or whatever. And that gimmick kind of came and went, I think, is what the moral of that one is. They haven't really been talking too much about it.
All right, so there you go. So we're going to go into some news. We're cruising right along. And we got some VR news, because I always like to put VR news up there because Charles has his VR.
I like it. Yeah.
Coming to the PlayStation VR is Vader, Immortal, and Hitman Trilogy, August 25th. So that's pretty cool for you. I don't know how well Hitman's going to be in VR.
Well, the Vader thing was that weird Lenovo thing, right?
Yeah.
So
It got very positive reviews, that Vader.
I'll have to check it out for sure.
So that one should be a really good one. I'm not sure about
you got a price on the Vader one, though, I wonder?
$29.
Oh, it ain't too bad.
Yeah, and I guess the game came in chapters, but you'll get all the chapters at once when you buy it on PlayStation. It's same thing with Hitman Trilogy. That was released in chapters. Hitman 1, Hitman 2, that our YouTube keeps saying we're doing.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of Hitman 2 content.
I don't know. I guess you'd have to go first person if that was VR in Hitman, right? You'd see the floaty hand, I would guess. I don't know how that would work, but there you go. Now, and if there's not enough reasons why not to buy the new Xbox console, just today, Halo Infinite is delayed till
I didn't see this news. Yeah,
it just came up on IGN.
Wow.
No set date for
it. It's a huge thing, man.
Yeah,
it's
you got this brand new fresh console.
And you want no content.
Oh, so they're kind of suffering from the exact same thing they suffered.
What did they say was the reason behind it? Just production delays because of COVID or something like that?
No, I didn't.
They didn't even try to make an excuse.
Yeah, it's delayed to further tighten up the gameplay and make it look better. So there you go. Now, are you guys big fans of the John Wick movies?
John Wick movies are great. I don't think they're as fantastic as everyone would lead you to believe, though. Some people would make it seem like they're one of the best movies ever.
Yeah.
I definitely think they're very entertaining movies, and I like them a lot. But I have a soft spot for the Replacement Killers with Chow Yun-Fat back in the day. It's a whole other conversation if you want to get into mercenary movies that are much better. But anyway, I like the John Wick movies, nonetheless.
And Bill, do you like John Wick movies?
I've never seen one.
All right.
Wow.
Not one?
No.
All right. Well, Are you aware of them?
Yeah, I've actually been interested to watch them. I just haven't gotten around to it.
Well, they're filming 4 and 5 at the same time right now. So Keanu Reeves is pumping out 2 more of these. He said on record he'd make as many as they want him to make as long as the
got bills to pay, man.
Yeah, so John Wick, plenty more coming. And then there's supposed to be a prequel show that's supposed to come, and where they're going to show him young. Obviously, Keanu Reeves ain't going to play that one. But just like Witcher, they're going to beat that dead horse, so nobody wants to see it anymore.
Do you think that they're just trying to cash in on like that Keanu wave before the terrible Bill and Ted movies come out?
I really do.
Yeah,
I don't know how hard that Bill and Ted's going to hurt them.
Before the Bill and Ted movie comes out and lays an egg, they want to get in there.
All right, around the room, Bill and Ted's going to be any good. Charles?
I know. I think it's going to be terrible.
Bill, that new Bill and Ted, what do you think?
Absolutely not. It's going to be garbage.
Yeah, I think so too. Kevin Smith was doing some damage control. He was on there. He saw it already. Oh, it's really good. It really pulls on the heartstrings for the family. And I'm like, oof. Yeah. Oof. Kevin Smith, he likes everything. He's like, Randy, he loves everything.
And all right. That recent Jay and Silent Bob one that you were.
Yeah, he's lost it. So, again, let's look back into Steve financial advice. Before the Switch came out, I had a chance to get Nintendo stock. It was $40-something a stock. For whatever reason, I didn't buy it at the time. Switch came out, stock went up to like $90-something a share.
Yeah, they're banging those Switches out too.
Yeah, and this was 2 or 3 years ago.
Keep them on the shelf right now.
So since April and COVID has gotten big, Nintendo's profits have increased 400% over last year.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the stock is right now, but boy, another missed opportunity.
I see Yahoo articles all the time of like Switches finally in stock and all this kind of stuff. So they can't even keep them in stock and stuff. So they're just making money hand over fist.
And now they got the Mario Lego sets coming out.
Yeah,
I've seen those in stores.
Terrible.
Huh?
Yep. I was watching a Gizmodo ad about it, or a Gizmodo.
They look terrible.
They look
terrible. What are you gonna say, Bill?
You'll feel better today that is this Nintendo Limited?
Yeah.
Yeah, their stock closed today at $58.45.
Oh, all right. So That's weird. As a report, their profits went 400%, and their stock isn't up that high.
Welcome to the craziness that is like the stock market.
Yeah,
It
but
makes
it's still
no sense.
I could have got it at 30, and it would have been 58 right
Probably
now.
has to do with like exchange rates between like the yen and the you know, it's just some kooky shit, man. Stock market is just gambling.
Currency arbitrage.
So now another news item that Charles will love because it's another nail in the theater coffin.
Yeah,
Mulan,
let's talk about this.
Live action is going to be released on Disney Plus, but you can't watch it on Disney Plus unless you pay an additional $30, and you don't get to keep the movie. That's just the rent.
24-hour period, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
but to put the kick into the American theaters' balls, they're releasing it in theaters overseas, just not here in America,
dude,
on September 4th.
Are you finally ready to give up on movie theaters? Can we give
Can
up
we just
on...
open them? Just open them.
No, because they're a petri
I'm going to
dish.
have no football to watch in the fall. Let me go to a theater, goddammit.
No, because that's a COVID hotspot. You're crazy.
You can space it out
And then
so easy.
all these movie theater or all these movie companies are realizing, wait, why am I sharing profits with anyone when I could digitally release this shit? It's over, Johnny.
It's not over. It's never over.
I'm telling you, hang it up, Steve. It's going to be okay. Here's a blockbuster Disney movie that would make tons of cash now purely online.
How many do you think are going to buy the $30?
Not as many.
That's the extra 10 compared to the other ones. Like Trolls was only 20.
Yeah, I don't
That's
think
that
as
Disney
many.
premium tax.
The one thing I will tell you is probably not as much as if they were to release it in the theater, but that you could probably make percentages wise what they see versus what they would have seen in the theater. I don't know, Steve. Break out that hammer and that extra nail. We're closing this coffin, dude. You don't want to admit it.
Damn it, no. So now, Bill, if you remember, we talked to
We just talked about this, didn't we?
yeah.
They had a reboot already.
Yeah, Beavis and Butthead are coming to Comedy
Yeah.
Central, which is
That was the conversation we all had.
for 2 seasons. Now, they must have listened into the podcast.
Yeah, thank you for their listenership.
Yeah, because now Ren and Stimpy has signed a deal with Comedy Central. Bill, your thoughts on Ren and Stimpy coming back to Comedy Central?
If it's similar to the Ren and Stimpy that we had back in the early 90s, love it. If it's anything like what they brought back with the Adult Swim kind of twist to it later on, like 10, 15
Spike
years
TV.
later, then keep it.
Yeah, you guys said that reboot was terrible.
It was. I don't know what the hell that was. It was not funny. It was just creepy and weird. But Ren and Stimpy coming. So someone at Comedy Central is a huge '90s animation fan, apparently.
Yeah.
So next they're going to sign a deal for King of the Hill. What other '90s animation can we pull back? That's the only one.
Daria.
Yeah, Daria's next. Oh, that show was terrible too. Eon Flux is that coming next? So the guy must have worked at MTV before coming over to Comedy Central. Now, my daughter's favorite TikTok, right? Trump, for some reason, got a hard on for TikTok.
Well, don't they say like it's got something to do with China? Isn't that the whole
China's
theory?
data mining young kids in America, and even the military won't let you have it on your phone if you have a military
How
phone.
about we get rid of TikTok because it's terrible?
Yes, that's true. You are being canceled because you are
Yeah.
terrible.
I don't give a shit about your Chinese ties. You just suck.
Well, this report was from later last week that Microsoft is interested in buying
The
TikTok.
best part is Microsoft's going to buy the shit.
And data mine the shit out of
It
everybody.
doesn't matter because all the kids are going to leave the platform. The minute Microsoft buys it, they're
Yeah.
going to hate it.
It's unhip.
Yeah.
Well, they did buy Minecraft. Minecraft allegedly still chucking
Oh, is
along.
Minecraft still banging?
Yeah. So Microsoft is kind of smart that they kind of just buy
How
things
much
to
money
stay
do
out
you
of
think
it.
TikTok costs?
Oh, you're like in the billions, right?
Oh, it's got to be.
If DoorDash or what was that, Uber Eats bought that one for $2.1 billion.
7-Eleven bought Speedway for what, 21?
Yeah, but that's obscene though. I'm gonna guess around $5 billion.
It's got to be more than that.
You think so?
BB, look up the worth of like the buying cost of TikTok. I bet you it's easily over 15 bill.
15 billion?
Dude, it's the biggest platform in the globe.
With a bunch of
right
teenagers that won't spend money.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't
They're like
understand
broke ass teenagers making dumb videos of dancing. What's
yeah. As soon as they get 30 years old, they
So the quick thing is that certain investors are valuing TikTok at right at about $50 billion.
5-0, son.
Wow, I was way under. Actually,
Now,
we both were.
did you see what happened over the last week too, as far as Trump's executive order? He put a ban on TikTok and WeChat. for, I think it was WeChat. Yeah, WeChat. That in 45 days they'll be banned unless they are sold by their Chinese parent companies. Uncertain as to where that will fall from a constitutional legality, standpoint, where the courts have been overturning a lot of his executive orders. But initially, he had also made the demand that when Microsoft looked out, it was announced that they were looking at possibly buying it, that he had stated that he was only going to approve a sale if the U.S. Treasury received a significant chunk of the proceeds of the sale. I think he's backed off of that now, but
he's also after a video game, League of Legends or something. He's trying to ban a video game too. I don't know.
How does that even make it across his desk?
I don't know.
What a weird world we live in.
Yeah, I know. So there you go. TikTok still up in the air. I hope it gets canceled just so I can see how depressed my daughter will get.
It's so bad. God, it's bad.
There's nothing funny on there. Nothing.
It is the weirdest thing because Holly comes up to us and shows. It's like, what is the funny part of this?
It's one of those ones where you're telling someone like an inside joke and it was so funny. You had to be
there.
And everyone's just sitting there looking at you like that's not funny at all.
Dude, what am I missing?
Yeah, so it was bad. I don't get it. Now, here's a one that this guy likes to do, experiment things. He broke his back. Simon Cowell.
First of all, Simon Cowell weighs like 46 pounds right now.
He's very fragile.
He went to like pure vegan and stuff like that. He's so skinny. He probably took one bump and broke all of his bones. He's just a
You think
rail
he did all this because there's something medically wrong with him?
I don't know.
Usually drastic change like that, there's something medically wrong with you.
I don't know.
I'm going to guess.
He's a weird animal nut, so he might come to it kind of in the same vein that Abby comes to it.
I don't like nice Simon Cowell either. The highlight of Simon Cowell is when you belittled people.
Yeah.
I've watched a couple highlights on this American Got Talent. They had a recap show or something on this past weekend.
He's way too nice.
He's just so nice now. It's so gross. It's like
Steve, I need you angry. I need the angry.
That's the part I didn't like about Howard Stern either. He got on there and liked everybody. And it's like, what the hell? This sucks. So he broke his back riding an electric bike. And so Kelly Clarkson is going to stay in. You watched the show. She's going to be in it.
I don't watch these remote shows. I don't know how they're going to do it. I watched the auditions up until they kind of stopped, and then I'm done. I don't know. I'm so sick of everything being on Zoom. I'm over it.
For what I've seen,
how are you going to have these huge events? Like
they're in these director's chairs. There's the four judges, and they're 6 feet apart, and they're all sitting there. And there's a big like drive-through screen, and then Terry Crews is like off about 20 feet to the right. And then the talent comes on via satellite on the drive-through screen and does whatever they're going to do, and then they judge them.
That's so weird. I'm done. Just pause it until the world gets back to normal. We'll see that.
It's terrible. So there you go. There's a little look. Simon Cowell's a broken back. You will see Kelly Clarkson on America's Got Talent this week, if anyone is still watching that. I don't know. And Sofia Vergara, is that her name? She adds nothing to it. She's always just smiling.
Neither does any of them. It's Howie and Simon, basically.
Yeah. So now, as I was talking earlier, AT&T and Time Warner, this is a clusterfuck right now. They're reconstructing everything. They were trying to sell their video game company side of it. We told you about that. Now that they've said, wait, that division makes money, so they're keeping it now, which is good for me because I'll get Injustice 3 now, so I'm very excited.
We're back on.
But now they're zooming in on the comic book side of it, and they're like, hey, these comics aren't making any money. They laid off. I think it was over 800 people, something like that, and throughout different divisions, but almost all the heads of DC Comics. The only one left is, ironically, we talked about him last week, Jim Lee. He's the creative director now of DC. Everyone else got chopped and got let go. So DC Comics, they want to sell it. They want to sell.
Well, you've talked at length on the show, kind of how that industry is just kind of dead in the water at this point.
And even Marvel Comics isn't making any money really, but they just use it as a breeding farm to make their movies. Yeah. So comics just aren't making money. I'm sorry, all us comic guys are dying out. And
when was the last time you went into like a comic shop proper?
It usually ends up, if I end up going to a store like a Kohl's or something with Michelle and I'm bored out of my mind, there'll be a local comic shop there and I'll walk over and look at it. But last time I bought something, it was a long time. Last one I was in, is on the one in Canton. There's a little comic shop there next to that Hobby Lobby. And I was waiting for Michelle, and I went over there and looked around, but I didn't buy anything. I just looked. I mean, they always have cool tchotchkes and collectibles and different comics and stuff. But HBO. So the new head CEO of Warner Brothers said
the whole HBO Max rollout thing is super convoluted and screwed up.
Well,
they didn't have all the rights to things, and things are coming and going. That I would argue that whole launch was so hastily done. It was so poorly executed. Someone needs to lose their job over it.
Well, I think they did because now they have a new CEO, and the CEO that's in there now, his primary focus is not going to be the TV stations or the HBO Max is going to be his primary focus, is what he said.
Okay.
So you should see a lot of content coming there. You should see a lot of rights coming back,
like an American Pickle.
Yeah, well, yeah. Or how about why don't you get Harry Potter back since you guys made it? Yeah. It's weird that you lost
but they
that.
Weirdly, that's why I said like the launch of it. Things are coming and going all the time, and things are just super weird with it. I don't know, man. It's just that whole, and it's super. It doesn't integrate real well on like what content's. It's a very confusing app. It's got issues. It really does.
And let's end the DC app experiment and just roll it into
just
HBO
bring it
Max.
all in. Yeah.
Why is there two that don't?
I don't
make
need
sense?
multiple platforms. Everything.
HBO
Make
Go's
got to
go and make it work on everything. Because what I understand, it still doesn't work on some of the
Fire Sticks.
Yeah, Fire Sticks.
Yeah, Fire Sticks. I know that from the basement.
How can you not work on a Fire Stick? It's like, what are you doing?
There's a lot of weirdness with these companies not handshaking one another with like
Yeah, and I guess AT&T is in way over their head in debt, so they're trying to sell and cut as much as they possibly can right now.
Oh, where's Johnny Oliver with the business daddy?
Yeah. Maybe they'll sell Johnny Oliver to somebody.
I'll go where I'm gonna tell you this right now. Wherever John Oliver goes, I'm going.
Is that the only reason you have HBO right now?
It's only $5 for me. So do that extra tier to get the HBO Max is $5. So
you're like, well, why not?
Yeah, what's $5? I mean, what are we talking about?
Bill, you still have HBO or HBO Max?
I haven't even attempted to connect to HBO Max yet, but we still have HBO, but that's only because I don't ever remember to cancel it.
Yeah, what are you watching still on HBO?
Who, me?
Almost nothing.
Almost nothing. You said John Oliver.
I forget I have it half the time.
And then I'll watch Hard Knocks as that comes out and stuff like that. And
Hard Knocks,
yeah, I never watch HBO Live. All my HBO is on demand. All of it. I don't watch John Oliver on my DirecTV Now or nothing. Well, AT&T TV Now or whatever. I don't watch any of that. I never watch the channel like there because I'm like, why would I do that when I can just turn it on whenever I want to? It doesn't make any sense.
Right. Yeah, I canceled HBO back right after Michelle got done with that show with Mark Ruffalo. The Ruffalo show's over.
You said it was a turd anyway.
Yeah, she didn't even like it. So I was like, this is getting cut. I don't know, Westworld season 3 maybe, but we were very lukewarm on season 2.
Yeah,
so,
you guys are very down on it.
So it's like, why am I going to run out and get it then? I can't think. What's coming on HBO? The Gemstones I do like.
Oh, I love Gemstones.
So maybe I'll wait till the whole season's done and then just get HBO Max and watch it.
Yeah, that's probably the way.
I don't even have to bother getting HBO.
You get it a month and bang it all out.
Yes, instead of just.
Like I said, the tiered upgrade for me is the extra $5. I'm like, dude, I mean, you can't beat that. So that's why. And then, like I said, it works real well with my login credentials and everything like that. So we do it. We love it. I watched all that random Studio Ghibli hot garbage. So yeah,
that was rough. That was really rough. All right. So anybody got any opinions before we leave?
No, not really. I'm not ranty this week. BB, you got any rants?
No.
Bill, have you eaten dinner?
Not yet.
What is on the Bill's
what's for dinner
list? Kale?
I have no idea.
Kale, same.
I've been in my little home office here since about 7 o'clock this morning.
Oh man.
I've come out for like bathroom and I grabbed made some lunch and that's pretty much it.
Oh. He said, ooh. Back to back. Ooh.
Jeez.
Well, we better
Is work that busy?
Yes. Extremely busy.
Oh, man. We're going to have to get this done so Bill can go eat.
Did you guys have any ramifications with the 7-Eleven Speedway merger? Did that hit you guys with the BP stuff?
No, that's Marathon owns Speedway.
I know.
So.
Was there any like ripple effect to you guys or anything like that? Because I know you're on the convenience store side of it.
Oh no. Although, where Speedways sit now, they're likely to integrate. I believe. I would imagine that 7-Eleven is going to probably move away from the Speedway brand, and so you're going to see a lot more
7-Eleven gas
7-Eleven, full
stations.
7-Eleven C-store fuel offers, which will be a lot more make the C-store competition a lot tougher. But we really only
C-store, look at BB convenience
what
store.
is-
Convenience.
BP really only
Lost me
has
on
a
that.
convenience store offer on the West
It's like,
Coast.
is that a store near the ocean? What
That's
is a
AMP.
C-store?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that BP doesn't have a branded convenience store offer in the rest of the country. It's just just on the West Coast. So
You don't have the convenience stores of Speedway?
I tell you what, I love that 7-Eleven app. God, that app is so good, man. It's one of the best reward programs. It just is, like, hands down, with the freebies you get from it and everything like that.
Oh, you know, I've got so many points. I have no idea what I have free. I should check that.
Yeah, I love it, man. I can't get enough of that 7-Eleven.
They're gonna be like, you can get 32 free big I was like,
I'm
damn.
telling you, it's good. You don't. It should prompt you if you get freebies. It didn't prompt you when you plug it in at the register.
No, she scans it. Every once in a while, tell me I get a free big gulp, and that's it. I never look at the coupon.
do they expire?
I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I use them so fast, I couldn't tell you.
He's like, oh, free nachos.
Yeah, dude, I love it.
What's the best free thing you've gotten from it?
I mean, there's some times I had like some sick amount of points, like where like I could have got like 2 pizzas and stuff like that. Dude, I love that 7-Eleven app. Man.
See, I like the Speedway one good better because
Well, you oddly do go to a lot more speedways than I do.
there's one right by work. That's
Is that
why.
what it
Yeah,
is?
So it's like, oh, let me hit up Speedway. So the Speedway one, when you build up your numbers, you can get a gift card like Xbox or PlayStation.
Oh.
So that's what I usually do. I save up for those. Like, oh, give me some Xbox, give me some
Wow.
PlayStation. That's what I do.
What, does the chick at the register give that to you, or they mail it to
They
you?
got a kiosk there, so you put in your card and it prints out the thing, and then you just grab the
Like
card.
a
and go up
redemption
there.
code or
yeah,
something
Yeah,
like that?
and they scan it, and you're good to go. Yeah, that's the Speedway is my one. I like that one.
Well, I'll tell you what, one of the worst reward, like let's go on a rewards thing here. One of the worst rewards is Starbucks rewards. You have to buy 6 million cups of coffee before they'll give you a free small. It is the most, because I tell Heather all the time, I go, how do we not have free shit at this point? Like we have never get free shit. Chipotle takes a while, but we do get some free
I got
stuff.
some free chips from Chipotle the other day.
Yeah, I get some free
And I
stuff
barely
from
ever eat
Chipotle,
there.
yeah. And then the other one I'll get some free stuff from is Jersey Mike's. I get a lot of freebies from there. But man, that's
How
7-Eleven.
often are you eating at Jersey Mike's?
Dude, way too much. And then
It's
like
tasty.
it's so good. And then like I
Double
said,
point
7-Eleven. What's that, BB?
You get double points on Mondays.
See, I'm telling you, man. What's the big bangers for BB and Abby?
What, talking about the rewards or Jersey
Yeah,
Mike's?
rewards. Well, I mean, we all know.
Well,
Jersey
no, I
Mike's.
mean we don't really have that many. Actually, the biggest rewards I get is from Walgreens. I get a ton of points from Walgreens.
Yeah,
you
we
get, like
get
picking up
our
your meds and
prescription,
stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
We get
okay.
them
Between medications and
They just
Random
give you
stops.
cash.
for
They
other
give you
random
cash,
stuff,
don't
yeah,
they?
it builds up pretty quick.
They give you like cash coupons, like $5 off and stuff like that. I think.
Yeah, you get a certain amount of points, and you can use them. I usually just take $5 or $10 off the bill when I go buy something.
Yeah, they don't even. You don't. Get, I always give Michelle's number when I go there. And they're
No.
like, oh, you got $5 off. I go, okay. I always steal her fucking. She'll be like, you stole my goddamn points
What's
again.
one of the places that needs a rewards card? Like what I can name one of mine so easily. Taco Bell. I need
yeah,
a Taco
well,
Bell reward like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah,
I would kill Taco Bell.
McDonald's maybe.
rewards. Yeah.
Any kind of fast food joint that doesn't
BB, you
have
got
that.
any place that needs a reward card?
Myers. Because my wife shops are continuously. We get nothing for it.
Like I don't go to
Because the Kroger card, you get fuel points.
you get fuel.
Myers.
I
needs
don't like
one.
grocery store reward cards.
Oh, you don't.
What's your beef there?
Well, because a lot of times they tie it to you have to have the card with you in order to get the discounts that are in the store. And that just drives me nuts. I used to have that problem when I would be in Michigan. I'd go into Kroger.
Yeah.
Word card? We don't have Kroger in Illinois. And usually if you can, they'll either be nice and they'll just scan it for you, or you just like, really? You're not going to give me the discounts? And they'll eventually give it to you. But
They quit scanning it a lot. Like
What do you mean?
sometimes the cashier would have like an extra card with them, so if you didn't have a card, they'd
dip
scan
that,
it for you.
yeah.
But they don't really do that much anymore. I have my card now, but back in the day, what I find is like when I was in Kentucky or something, and I go to a random gas station. You got the like we don't even have. These
I don't even
damn
know what
gas
you
stations.
are.
Yeah, so same
I don't know
thing
what a
with-
stop and sip is.
Yeah,
What is this shit?
yeah, I get a card for this
Yeah.
for 2 cents off of this fucking Diet Coke. Get the fuck out of here!
I'm telling you, the biggest one that needs one is Taco Bell. I would kill for Taco Bell rewards. I get a free taco or something like that. But they've always pushed the app ordering thing, and I don't really like to app order at Taco Bell. I just kind of go in.
Yeah. Well, you can't go in. You go to the drive.
Well, when you order,
I go in. I go in. I don't like drive-thrus.
What Taco Bell's open on the inside right now?
You can go in and order and then take it out. I don't like drive-thrus. Drive-thrus are the worst.
Oh, they're really bad right now.
Dude, they're brutal.
have a rant.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Because the problem is you get drive-thrus learn, so now they corral you in so you can't even move out of the way if you want to.
Yeah, you're stuck there.
Yeah, and it's like, and then they
especially Taco Bell drive-thrus.
They mess your order up so goddamn much. I'm just over it. I'll take my ass in. I'm not that lazy. I'll get out of my car.
I didn't know you can go in. I thought they were all closed.
You can go in, order from the kiosk, and then pick it up at the counter. Yeah.
You order at the kiosk? Mm-hmm. Are other people in there?
Not usually. Most people don't know that they're open.
Yeah, I would have been doing that because I hate the goddamn drive-thru. The worst, I was telling Bert about this. No matter how many cars are in the drive-thru, the slowest, worst drive-thru is goddamn Checkers. I don't care if one car.
I don't go to Checkers. You go to that one on Telegraph there a lot?
Oh my god,
Checkers can be delicious. I'm not anti-Checkers in the slightest.
We played tennis. Me and Holly. She wanted an ice cream.
One right on that side.
Yeah, we were coming down. She goes, "I want an ice cream cone." 3 cars in front of us. It took 35 minutes to get through there.
Are you churning the ice cream?
You guys. Oh my God, Checkers is the worst.
Oh, man.
Now, of course, like Popeyes is terrible. That's just because the line's so goddamn long.
Yeah.
But Checkers, and the other one I've been running into that's gotten really bad over the years is Wendy's. Their service has gotten terrible.
You got those both that are kind of right by your house.
Yeah, first off, they don't have half the stuff. One time I went to Wendy's, they had no hamburgers. It's like, how do you not have hamburgers?
Yeah, that's
and then they don't have sauce. They don't have this. They don't have
We're
cups.
out of that. We're out of this.
They're like, we don't have large cups, so they hand me 2 smalls. Like, what do I do?
I need a drink holder for my drink.
Yeah, it's so annoying.
Yeah.
Wendy's and the Checkers up by me are really fast.
Oh, we're the complete opposite here.
Yeah.
Well, there's never more than like 2 cars in line at Checkers.
Wow.
The one near me, it's almost never more than 2 cars in a line at any time.
That Checkers is so terrible.
Jeez.
Even if one car's ahead of you, you're screwed. Damn. You got to pull up with no cars. There's a car, just drive out. Just take off.
Just leave.
Just half hour of your life, you're never getting back. So
I don't know. But like I said, I just don't like drive-thrus. And I think a lot of it has to do with how we grew up working when we were younger, and them drive-thru orders are always jacked up. I just as soon go in, grab my stuff. I'm not lazy.
I didn't even know you can go in. I thought they were all closed.
They don't let you sit down, but you can go in and order and pick it up at the door, at the counter. And you can at Taco Bell, you can app order or you can use the kiosk. We just use the kiosk because Heather gets on me. She goes, "I should go to the drive-thru." I hate drive-thrus. I just don't like drive-thrus.
The kiosks are covered in poo.
I don't give a shit. I'd rather go touch the poo kiosk than sit corralled in a drive-thru for 45 minutes. Something about it drives me bananas. I hate it.
Well,
what kind of drive-thru lines do you guys have? 45 minutes at a Taco Bell?
Dude, Taco Bell's crazy. Steve's
Our
right. Like
drive-thrus
everything, because no one knows you can go in anymore. Like
once COVID hit, every drive-thru in Michigan became retarded. You thought it would get faster because nobody on the inside.
Yeah, you eliminate a whole section.
No, they're like, we know you're screwed.
They still staff the same way, so there's 2 people standing
there.
They
got the 2 slow kids working drive-through. Not slow mentally, but just slow working.
Yeah.
Well, But it's terrible. It's terrible.
Do Taco Bell's by you, Steve, since I'm assuming you still go through the drive-through? Have they been sealing your bags?
They all do.
Yes.
Yeah, they all do.
Put
Even when you go in, they'll seal your bag.
And then put it in a plastic bin and then pull it out.
Yeah, they love that move. Like they just use like a tub and hand it to you.
I will sit in the window at Taco Bell, and I will open all the whatever 1 or 2 bags. I will, because if they screw up, I'm not going to come back.
Dude. Okay, so let me
I sit there and I go through and I check and I make them give me a receipt. I make sure the receipt's accurate.
And then I go highlighter.
I look at what I'm supposed to have, and then I go through and I open the bag to make sure it's there.
I just
play if it's not, I wait until they get it.
I hate it.
I just
grab the
bag,
problem's going to be, I'm going to get home, and that little mouthy 8-year-old I have
it's
in there,
always the daughter.
Dude, it's going to have some lettuce on her taco, and she's going to boo face the whole time.
I'll just fucking eat it.
Yeah, dude, I can't take it.
If they screw my order up for the 3 of us, it's always Holly's. It's always.
It's a given.
And she's not ordering crazy stuff. She orders regular stuff, but that's
the
one thing that's going to miss.
And then she can't suck it up. And the same thing with Lorna. So let me ask the question for you guys with some drive-through etiquette in the time of COVID. Do you put a mask on when you pull up to the window?
No, they got the plexiglass.
You're supposed to put a mask. See, this is the problem I ran into At the hotel.
They have to reach up under the plexiglass to give him the money. My breath is going to be blocked by the plexiglass.
Just put a fucking mask on, you animal.
I do inside the building, but a drive-thru.
So, at the hotel, in-room dining, I literally had to A-team, like, drill a plexiglass thing into a cart. Because, again, so I'm a random in-room dining clerk, and I knock on your door. No one has masks on in their rooms. So then they open the door with no masks on all the time. So then, like, they're getting breathed or, like, terrible breath on them all the time. They're like, I had to literally, like, A-team a piece of plexiglass on a cart so they could push the cart to the door, knock, and then hide behind the plexiglass because no one wears masks.
For the record, in a hotel, I have never in my life ordered room service.
And you shouldn't.
I have
That's
never
as worse as drive-thru. It's I laugh at the hotel. One of my favorite games to do is to get on the elevator with the in-room dining person and go, let me see the receipt, and go, can you believe some asshole pays this? It is. I go, do they issue you a gun downstairs?
That guy up there, he buys room service.
Oh, you're an asshole, baby. You're a crazy person. They literally, if you go there and you're like, give me a bottle of liquor, they'll charge you for every shot that is in that liquor. I've seen where someone has paid over $200 for a bottle of like vodka and stuff like that.
Oh my god!
It is It is pure convenience, pure American laziness, BV. You know what I mean? Like, the in-room dining is the worst thing ever. And at our hotel currently, we only offer in-room dining. You can't come down and grab it to go or anything like that. Like, you have to get through in-room dining.
So you're paying extra for this bullshit, and you're tipping the asshole that brought it up to you.
Yep.
Fuck my cheese.
And there's trip charges. We can get into a whole thing. It is a criminal enterprise.
You're talking to the guy that'll go find breakfast food, so I don't have to buy breakfast all
Dude,
week.
I agree. I agree with you, man.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
BV, what's the most you've spent on in-room dining at a hotel?
Not that much. We don't do that on a regular basis or anything. In fact, when I'm in Michigan, I usually stay at that Hyatt place over on 7 and Haggerty, and it's not, the in-room dining is a little bit weird. They don't actually bring it up to you. You order it, you take it up yourself. So it's not, I mean, it's not cheap, but for what you're getting, but it's not ridiculous either. And there's no way in hell I'd ever buy a bottle of liquor from a freaking hotel.
Dude.
I'm not stupid.
Like $36 for a 6-pack and stuff like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think I have ordered room service when I traveled on business, and there was one time I ordered it, and I think it was something I got like a really nice meal, and it was something like $60.
Dude, it's crazy. $30 for a cheeseburger.
That wasn't out of my
Dude,
it was something like
crazy.
$40 for a steak.
Unbelievable. So anyway.
All right, so there you go. Look at us fat guys talking about food. Shocking. So you, of course, can catch us on Apple iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, and wherever you can find podcasts. And you can turn on your iPhone and listen to the podcast app. We are on there.
Yeah.
Some people we may or may not know have trouble doing that. But anyways, so until next week, this is Steve.
And Charles.
And BV. Check you next week.